Asian hate in violent unsafe Amsterdam, New York. In August 2010, the Buddhists purchased properties in a foreclosure auction in Amsterdam, New York. Rumors and worries soon surfaced. Who are these people? What are their plans? Coming from the locals as well as city officials. At a news conference and meeting 11 days later, the leader of the Buddhists told residents his group planned to renovate and inhabit the buildings. Plans included developing a solar power generating facility and a deluxe hotel in Amsterdam as well. The group was buying other properties, including 2 former Roman Catholic churches in Amsterdam that have been retrofitted into Buddhist temples, St. Casimir's on East Main Street and St. Michael's on Grove Street. This sparked opposition and hatred throughout the city and from city officials, prompting the Buddhists to pull out of a 2010 plan to buy the mostly vacant Bacon Elementary School for more than $450,000. Soon after, the harassment and vandalism begun. The properties which were being renovated were broken into. The damage and sabotage were significant and property was stolen. The group also said police did not help with burglaries and vandalism problems. The police inaction is something that this former newcomer can attest to. As for the vandalism, now former Mayor Anne Thane said that vandalism is a fact of life for buildings in Amsterdam. This former newcomer can also agree with the Buddhists as this former newcomer's property was broken into, items stolen and damage occurred. Those responsible, the Neighborhood Watch Group. Mayor Anne Thane then went on to call the Buddhists naive, foolish and said they made a foolish purchase. In her official post as Mayor Anne Thane said the Buddhists were dangerous for Amsterdam and that the Buddhists would cost the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, the hatred also reigns with the Shrine of Our Lady of Martyrs, also known as the Orisville Shrine. In 2006, the Buddhist group purchased the Jesuit retreat house from the shrine and converted it into the Western Supreme Buddha Temple. The Jesuit priest, not this Jesuit priest, but this Jesuit priest, then blocked access roads to the temple. Protests, lawsuits, and charges of racism followed. The Jesuits placed signage along the property line saying "Dogs go home, no dogs allowed," which are racial slurs calling the Buddhists dogs and animals. At the same time the Jesuit priest was blocking the only road to the Buddhist temple, city officials continued their harassment. Amsterdam assessor Calvin Klein, not this Calvin Klein, but this Calvin Klein of Ballston Spa, New York, refused to grant the tax exemption status for the properties owned by the Buddhists in December 2014, and the City Board of Assessment Review ruled to uphold Calvin Klein's determination in January 2015. The properties are the same properties once owned by the Catholic Church and received the religious tax-exempt status. Only after filing a lawsuit was the tax exemption granted to the Buddhists.